God, I hope this. We are live.
All right. Woohoo!
Woohoo, we pulled it off. And listen, my phone just assured me that we're live, Teri. It just sent me a message, said Rhee Gold's Dance Life is live now.
Great.
But as we are, as everybody knows, things aren't always working as scheduled. And Teri and I stayed very calm on our end tonight.
Mm-hmm.
In order to pull this off. We hope you are all doing the same as you reach roadblocks. Would you agree with that, Miss Teri?
I would agree. There's nothing else to do right now except try and keep calm.
Okay, that's how we're going to start this conversation. I know you just said there isn't a lot to do right now. But how about I start with this and I say, for me and you, I believe, because we were kind of on the same timetable. 2 weeks ago, Thursday, started to realize we had a problem. Would you agree?
Yes. Yep. For us, what day is it? It's Thursday.
No, I think it's Wednesday. Hang on.
No, I think it's Thursday.
Okay. Whatever
Right?
day it is, go ahead. Maybe I'm going to turn this on and somebody will tell us what day
What the heck day it is?
Keep going.
So yeah, it's been actually 3 weeks for us. Thursday, yeah. So we just completed our 3rd week of virtual classes. So last 3 weeks ago on a Thursday night is when I decided that we were going to stop having kids come to the studio the next day on Friday and start virtual classes the next day on Friday. So yeah. Oh, hold on, I can't hear you. I think you have to unmute yourself. There you are.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Did you literally go from one day to the next and you were live the next day?
Yeah. Yeah, we did the first week. I felt it coming. So that early in that week, like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I started to ask my staff to really start to record their stuff in class, get everybody's recital routine recorded, because they were reporting to me that their attendance was really low and people were starting to get nervous. And so I was kind of just prepping for that. The first week, we just went to Facebook Live, everything. We hadn't set up Zooms or anything like that, but we did move right to Facebook Live. We just put up a bunch of Facebook Live stuff on the Friday and Saturday. That whole week, we did all Facebook Live. Then the second week, we added in all the Zoom classes. So we're a second week of Zoom classes, 3rd week of virtual classes, and Facebook Live started it for that whole first week. And we did it the very next day. We didn't actually miss a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Teri, because we came on live kind of quickly, I realized that I didn't even introduce you. I just jumped into business. Tell everybody who you are, where your school is, and I might pull a couple questions after that I think people should know about you. Go for it.
So I am the owner of InSync Center of the Arts in Quincy, Massachusetts. We are in our 24th year. Got a big school, over 1,000 kids, about 24 people on payroll. I am right now hiding in my kids' music room. It looks like a little camp up here because they're downstairs doing their thing and I didn't want them interrupting. So I'm up here. I have 2 kids, 2 teenage boys, 14 and 16. So I'm kind of, juggling the whole mom studio owner thing, just like most of us are.
Can I ask you this? Because I do want to talk business and where you're at that way. But I want to ask, as a mom, business owner, for our listeners, which are a lot of teachers, studio owners, but our viewers are getting larger. I'm getting these emails. I've got old friends, everybody. But let's talk about balancing the mom part, the studio owner part, the wife part.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. I mean, in general or right now, because that's two different things.
I'm going to say the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So the last couple of weeks have been challenging for everybody. For me specifically, I don't teach a lot of classes anymore. So I am not having to teach live classes in my house with my kids home. And I think a lot of people watching probably are, if they're teachers or studio owners that are still teaching a lot. They're managing having to teach in their house with their kids home and probably their husband home, or maybe not, or by themselves or whatever, who knows, but there's a lot of people in the house and they're trying to do all this online stuff from home, which is has its own challenges when you're actually trying to teach the classes. I am not doing that. I'm running the business and dealing with all of what I need to do administratively and management wise with the kids at home. I mean, for all of us right now, I guess as a mom, I don't really love the word balance because I don't really think there is such a thing. I think we all just kind of ebb and flow and do what we need to do to get through the day and get through the week. It's never perfect. I think some days we give a little more to our studios, some days we give a little more to our families. And in the end, it kind of evens out, but it's never totally balanced. I think when we start to look for perfect balance, we are just disappointed because I just don't know if it works, if it really happens. So right now we're just all I'm trying to make sure my kids are healthy, first of all, and getting their schoolwork done and trying to get some fresh air and their mental health is kind of in check. That's my biggest concern. It should be everybody's biggest concern. And then after that, the studio and my staff and all of our students and how they're doing physically and mentally.
I have talked to you a lot, so I know a couple things that are going on in your life. I know you are. You're stopping every day to take a walk with your family and spend time. Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, it was super rainy today, so we didn't do it today, but I told them as soon as I was done with my Rhee interview, we were playing a family game, no excuses. Everybody has to stop what they're doing. They're waiting for that now.
What's the game you're going to play?
So tonight, I think we're playing Risk because we already finished Monopoly. That was a whole week it took. But we're moving on to something else tonight. So they'll complain because they're 14 and 16-year-old boys and they would rather play video games all night. But we have some non-negotiables in this house right now, and that's one of them. So yeah.
Can I dig deeper on that?
Sure.
What are your non-negotiables? I hope your kids aren't watching.
They're not. No, they're not. They don't have Facebook. Facebook is for old people.
Yeah, that's why I chose Facebook, because I could have chose other places, but you know what? I like to say mature people for anybody.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think we had talked about this in an earlier phone conversation, but when this first started to roll out and we got some news about our schools being closed till May, a lot of states now are just not going back to school at all. My biggest concern was really for the kids and their mental health, all of my kids, all of the kids, but my students and my own actual children, because they're teenagers and they can kind of withdraw, hide. They'd like to stay in their rooms all day and watch videos and Netflix and YouTube and Instagram, whatever they do. But I did call an emergency family meeting on the stairs because that's what we do. And just told them we had some non-negotiables. They were going to have to do what I'm asking them to do, period, or we were going to have some problems. And one of those non-negotiables is that they need to get outside a little bit every day. They need to get some schoolwork done, and they need
only some. I love that. You'd be the coolest mother if you were my mother.
I know.
Go ahead.
Well, our school right now is making it all optional, so it's not graded material. So they are I know it's changing next week, but that's how it's been for 3 weeks. So they, whatever, they needed to spend some time on that. They needed to get outside and get some air. And I needed to put my eyes on them, and we needed to spend some family time together, because I told them that, we're going to be in this situation for however many weeks now, 8, 10 weeks, maybe longer. And we weren't going to go back in a worse position than we are right now. We are going to move forward and be better for it. And we're not going down with this situation. So I just need them to spend a little time with me every day. And I mean, they're teenage boys. It's not the most important thing they want to do is like play games with their parents every night. But we're going to eat a meal, take a walk, play a game, watch a show, something every day. Something.
You are Leave It to Beaver, and they don't know what that is.
They do not. No, they don't. And but it seems like it's not a lot to ask, but when the day is full and you're trying to, even for me, I'm like, I don't have time to have a family dinner right now. I'm dealing with work stuff. I do, for me, it's hard, but I just knew that I didn't want them to kind of spiral. I wanted to be able to correct if I needed to.
I know you just talked about balancing, and you don't like that word, but because I know you so well, I'm here to give you a pat on the back for your thought process on all of this with your kids. And I asked you that or dabbled in this, because I think there are a lot of dance teachers in these town halls, meetings, whatever you want to call them, that are worried about their own kids as well as the 300 kids in their schools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and it's cause to worry. It really is. And I think, my own kids are a little bit older, so it's different if you're dealing with little ones, like how they're dealing with this is going to be different than a teenager. I can speak to them in real terms, and, and we can connect later on in the night. There's things we can do with them because they're teenagers that is going to be much different for somebody that has a 5 and 4 or 3-year-old. But yeah, so I'm concerned about, and all of us are concerned about our kids that we teach. So I think,
go there for a minute, because I know you and I saw a letter that got passed around that everybody in the whole dance world didn't. That was about a studio who lost a student, a son's friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell our audience what that is all about in a synopsis, and maybe share how that might have an effect on us as parents, even though I have no kids.
Yeah, I mean, what he's referring to is just a situation that had occurred. I don't remember exactly what part of the country it was in. It was just a teenager that had committed suicide in the past week, and it was a friend of a son of a studio owner, I think is how it went. But
I do too.
Yeah, but it
was the sense of being alone, not being with their peers, that was the
right.
hard,
yes,
or
and
the understanding I got from this.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that was exactly what my fear was right from the very beginning, like ripping things away. These teenagers, this is their world, is their social fabric of being at school. And their things, what they do. I have a 16-year-old who's a baseball player who is going to lose his baseball season, and that is crushing. It's crushing. And so these kids who lose their dance studio, it's also crushing. Like that is their thing. And so for us to be able to get on virtually quickly and offer them the opportunity to not lose that, I think is enormous. And I know it's hard work. It's exhausting. And I know these teachers are working like harder than they do when they're in the studio. It's so hard to teach to a screen. It's so, the connection, they're getting kicked out, all of it. I know how exhausting it is. But I don't think it's ever been more important than it is right now. I've told my families in my videos that I post from my families and my teachers that, our focus right now for us, this is my personal position, is not on their technique or making progress as a dancer. That is not our focus. My focus for our kids during this virtual time is to not lose the technique that they've gotten, to not forget the routines that they learned, to not go backwards, to maintain, but I'm also worried more and I'm focused more on the other 80% of what we do at the studio. Because if we believe in what we do as a studio community, when we have the building accessible to us, we say that we're building confidence and helping kids express themselves and giving them somewhere where they can be who they are and they can talk to us. We're providing role models and peer mentors, and all of those things happen with or without a building, with or without a dance routine. It's other things that are the non-tangibles that are actually providing that. And we can still do that through this virtual world that we've now created. And that is where our focus is right now. And when we get back in our space, we will like lean into the technique and moving forward and finishing your routines and whatever. But right now, we're going to maintain our technique, not forget what we've learned, and really double down on the community, the talking to each other, the feeling okay, the anxiety release, the giving you somewhere to feel okay, like to speak your mind, communicate, feel connected, and not lose that.
I want to dig into that if we can. Teri, I want to ask you to do something. Can you turn me down a little on your incoming?
Yeah.
I have things that I wanted, places that I want to go with you, but I need to ask this or make this statement. What you're talking about right now is that mentor, leader, teacher thing. And I don't know that everybody listening realizes at this point that what you say, we got to keep these dancers in shape. But the bottom line here is they need us, they need each other to talk to. Like, it's just as beneficial to do a half-hour hangout with the group of dancers as it is to give them a class right now. And people might say, but I don't know if they're gonna think that is as valuable or whatever. Add it if you're worried about that, but know that when these kids get done having a talk with you and their parents look and go, okay, my kid is feeling a little safer because they had a talk with you, it won't be about dance anymore. And that is who we are. Yes, Teri?
Yes, 100%. And I think it's actually, I'm finding it a real interesting opportunity to give the families a window into like what we are doing in class. And when they come in and they might like, we have monitors in our waiting room so you can see the classes happening. So, and I know as a parent, when you sit in that waiting room and you look at the monitor and the kids are maybe, not dancing or sitting or talking, or there's a lot of explanation going on and not as much dancing or whatever's happening every once in a while on those monitors. It's nice now for them to get that other side of it, where they actually now are seeing and understanding what we're talking about and why it's important. And it's been an interesting experience the past couple of weeks with these parents being on the other side and taking class with their kids and really being able to listen to how they're being talked to by the teachers. We've gotten so much feedback about that. I had no idea. Oh my gosh, everybody's so good with them. Everybody's so positive. It's changing her. They're in a bad mood until that class happens, and then they're all happy again. Like, it's been a really good opportunity, for parents to kind of see and experience it firsthand. Like, get up and do it. Like, dance with the kids. It's been great.
I had to stop for a minute and think and say to you, that 2 weeks ago there were people saying the online thing isn't going to work. And it may not work for everybody, but look at you at this point. Can I dig in and ask some business? But you know me, they'll always probably get back to earthy crunchy. Of your enrollment, and I know that you have a larger school, and some people may be watching this and saying, well, I don't have that many kids. I chose you for this talk because your enrollment reflects a larger, how do I want to say this? A larger, like, what's happening with you won't happen with the average size school in numbers, is what I'm trying to say here.
Right.
In percentage numbers, when you made the decision to go online, and I know everybody here knows that April 1st was push the button day. For you, it might have been earlier, actually.
Mm-hmm.
How much of your enrollment did you retain? A percentage?
So, right, it's changing every day, but right now,
Okay.
yeah, it's really changing every day. But so we've got about 1,000 kids. We've lost about maybe 50 so far. So, it's 5% right now, but it will change. And yeah, I'm trying to stay ahead of it. That's kind of been my approach so far, is to
Describe strategies to stay ahead of it, if you would.
Okay, so our tuition, I think I've actually been a little bit lucky on this on my tuition date, because they are on the 15th. So March 15th, April 15th. So we didn't have to push the button yesterday. We did it on the 15th, which was right when we closed, or right when the studio closed. It was like the next day, and I pushed the button quick because I had to just do it. And I didn't even know what my plan was, but it needed to happen. And then April 15th will be the next one. So today, actually, I recorded a video of myself explaining what the plan was. I had already typed it out. I had already written it out. I had already emailed it to everybody. Everybody's been getting their Zoom emails with their, specific class invitations. They've been getting the post-class email with the link to the class. They've been getting everything, but for some reason, there's still parents who don't know what's happening. So and I'm sure, because I am a parent, that their emails are just flooded with stuff from school, every activity their kids do. If they're working from home, it's like horrible. So, I know that dance is not their priority. It's not. And honestly, it shouldn't be right now. I mean, they're worried about their family's health and their jobs and how they're going to pay their mortgages. Like, I don't expect that dance is at the top of their list right now at all. And I don't actually want to assume that you didn't read my email. No, of course they didn't. They're completely stressed. So
thank you for saying that. I hope all our listeners will suck that in for a minute, because this is not a time to wonder why parents aren't doing things exactly as you planned, because I bet in other cases you are not doing things exactly as planned.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my younger son, my 14-year-old, he's not young, but he's the younger. He's in,
He's a baby, if that makes you feel better. He's just
he is to me. But he's a musician, right? So he's got a whole bunch of music lessons. He's got a voice lesson. He's got a guitar lesson. He's in a band program. They all went virtual the same time that I did. I think I missed 2 of those classes. Like, I forgot to log in. He wasn't paying attention. I don't know what happened to that email. Like, I am our parents. I am exactly who that is. So, and just maybe that helps me with my perspective a little bit, because I am grateful that he has something to log into. I'm grateful that he has these community, this little community where he can play music. It's the worst lesson. Like, they can't hear each other. The timing is off. It's not really productive, but I don't care. Log on, see them, hang out with them, do the music thing for a while.
And you're still paying for that and willing to pay.
It never would have crossed my mind to stop paying for it, because he's still logging in and I don't want to take that away from him. So it's not the greatest class, but that's really not what it's about right now. And I know that because of the business that I'm in.
Right.
But as a mom too, I know that as a mom, I'm okay with that as a mom too. So I think we need to keep a little perspective on that families are doing whatever they can do to survive, and they're worried about their own health and getting through this. So today I recorded a video of myself explaining what's happening again, where we are, because we're 3 weeks into virtual classes, and I had people today that still thought we were just closed for 3 weeks. But I didn't get mad about it. I was like, oh, you must not have been receiving our emails. Let me forward them to you. Here's the link to the video where I'm explaining everything. Because I honestly think people don't even want to read the emails. They can't even read their emails right now. It's so much. So I recorded a video, posted it to YouTube, downloaded the link, embedded it in an email, posted it on our page, and now people are understanding. And I posted, I felt like it was a little bit easier for people to see me, hear me, and like get the message of what we're trying to do and why we're continuing virtually, what we're going to do when we come back, what we're hoping for with recital and the end of the year. Why I can't give any concrete answers on that right now, but what I'm hoping to do and what our tuition plan is and their options around that. I felt like I could do a better job explaining that in person and kind of get people to understand the goal. And I also said in there, and if you need to drop and this is too much for you right now, it is okay. Like it's okay. Just let us know and we will withdraw you and we will see you again in the fall. That is okay. I just didn't feel like, and they needed that out. I don't think so far, nobody's responded and dropped. They've all responded and either been fine, deferred their payments to a later time because I offered that as an option.
Tell us about that, because I think that's something people are not sure how to do. The one thing I want to say before we start is if you defer a payment, you have a due date. Now go ahead, Teri.
Yes, exactly. So I just, for myself, I felt like I couldn't get creative with discounting because there were way too many factors involved for us. We have people that paid in full already and people that paid half the year. And we have music students who are fine taking virtual lessons and their tuition's all wrapped up into dance. So I couldn't play around with discounting and cutting prices like that. So my option to them was that we have 2 tuition payments left, April 15th and May 15th. They can pay them when they're due, April 15th and May 15th. Take all of our virtual lessons and all of the makeups in person that we're going to offer when we get back in person. They're going to get double their hours. Or if they're having a financial hardship and they find themselves like most of the country right now and lost their job or have a lower, lost hours, they can take those 2 payments and defer them to July 15th and August 15th.
How many people are expressing the hardship? A lot or not quite yet? Or what do you get?
We've probably had like maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 people email us back, which is a very small percentage for us.
Right.
But again, I just sent that email today. So by the time they all click on it in the next couple of days, but honestly, I said in my video that I don't mind deferring the payments. I really don't. I would much rather do that for somebody than have them drop for a financial reason right now. I do not want to see any kid drop for a financial reason right now. I don't.
I can't disagree with you on that. I think we got to figure out have a policy in the back of our head on how we're going to handle individual cases that we know these kids need this and us and each other.
Yes. And if they don't want to stay because they don't like the virtual thing or
Fine.
or, some of them have said they don't want to come back anyways because they're for their family, they're going to stay away from crowds. Even if school comes back, they're not sending their kids back. Even if dance comes back, they're not sending their kids. They don't want to be at a recital with a group of people. So if, for some people, that is how they feel right now. And people might feel like that a lot more as we get closer to that date as well. And so they would rather just opt out and come back later. And that's fine. Like that's
I'd like to go for a second into recital, then we'll come right back. I don't know that we should even be promising it down the road. I think, or no, I need to take that back. That we shouldn't be saying, hey, we've rescheduled it for August 4th. I think we should say something like, hey, the show must go on and it is at the top of our priority list. We're working really hard on that. Because what a recital looks like in August or September, and I know people who are listening because I've heard it all, are like, well, what about my seniors? We'll cross that bridge too.
Mm-hmm.
But a recital that lands in August may look totally different than a recital, even if you've been in business 44 years, than any recital you have ever done before. So I'm in agreement that it gives the kids something to look forward to. But I think we have to be more open-minded to how we're going to have an end product recital. I've said this a couple times, so I don't like to repeat myself, but you and I both know somebody who's joking right now, but it could become a reality, that she's going to rent a stadium and her people are all going to sit 6 feet apart. And it sounds crazy, but there is somebody who's going to figure out how they can put on this recital.
Hey, I mean, I told my parents in my video today that we will finish the season with some kind of performance. I don't know when, and I don't know how, and I don't know where, but I feel like it's important to finish the season. I feel like that as a fundamental lesson that I feel like we're responsible to teach our kids is that you solve problems, you figure things out, and you finish what you started. So we are going to finish what we started. It will not look the same. Even if we are in some kind of an auditorium, it's not going to be the show we thought it was going to be. So it's going to be different anyways. But I am actually, and I told them I would not have any answers for them until at least probably 2 weeks, because I feel like we will know in this country how we're all going to do with this in the next couple of weeks. Things will start to kind of become clearer for us, I think. Nobody's booking anything anyways right now. You can't get anything booked anywhere right now. So we're just going to wait it out and see what happens. I am looking to the recital, if we want to continue to call it that, as an opportunity to try something different. I don't know. That's personally for me, the traditional way we've been doing recital is awesome and it's been great, but it's a little stale. Like I would like to try something different. I'm open to trying something totally different. And if this is our opportunity to do it, then maybe it's a really great excuse to have an outdoor, like have an outdoor dance festival. And we're not in an auditorium, but we're outside under a tent on a stage with music and food trucks and whatever. Like maybe it's totally different.
And listen, I want to say something about that because my heritage is show business. The show must go on. And we, as with gypsy blood running through our veins, will figure this out. And it's easier to figure it out if you take it a couple weeks at a time and you don't stress out about this show thing that's supposed to be 8 weeks away. And like you said, we don't know what's going on in 2 weeks. What we know is what we can do in the next 2 weeks. Pretty much, we might be a week and a half and we'll be wrong about what we thought we could have done for 2 weeks.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we don't try and work hard to figure it out, because we will be ahead of the curve on the other side if we stay creative and all the other things.
Right. And I think that's probably what's the hardest part for all of us is as studio owners, we're planners. I mean, all we do is plan. I feel like any day I'm working on some kind of a schedule. We're scheduling the fall, we're scheduling the summer, we're making a show schedule, we're doing the show order, we're doing.
And I'm the guy who told everybody to schedule everything, right?
Yep. And now guess this, I don't know what's happening next week.
Right. So it's a new world.
It's crazy. So I feel like that's where all of our the uneasiness falls, is that we have no plan. There's no plan.
And is that like really, isn't it okay to have no plan if some point in a person's life they're forced to have no plan and the whole world is open in creativeness right now? Maybe the struggle is to put everybody in a better place on the other side. What do you think of that?
I think it's exactly right. I mean, I think it's interesting how we live, and I mean, you know me and my spreadsheets. I'm a spreadsheet girl.
I do, but I want you to know that I've always been impressed. People will laugh by your spreadsheets. Like if you said, hey, Rhee, you want to come up and see my spreadsheets? I would really want to see your spreadsheets. Okay, let's move on.
So for me to not have a plan is really hard, but I'm adapting. Like it's fun. I mean, what are you going to do? There's nothing we can do right now. So I think that is part of it is like, you know, when I'm talking to my one class a week that I teach, my jazz company kids, is important for them to know that I don't have a plan and I'm okay. Like we're okay. We do not have a solid plan, but we know that it's going to be okay. And they don't have a plan and they're not feeling okay about it either. And so I don't know, I just think it's important for us to teach them and model that we don't have a plan, but we're going with it. We're going to be okay. The plan is right now to be healthy and safe and calm and talk to people and still find time to communicate with people, and the plan will work itself out. I mean, it's April. I'm supposed to be registering people for fall right now. That's not working. I mean, that's not going to work. That's typically what I'm doing at this point. We roll out registration during April vacation week, and that's not going to happen. So I have no idea what that looks like. None of us do, but it'll be okay.
And I want to throw something in your mind and maybe into our listeners' minds. The fact that you and so many people we know went to this online virtual class system, know that if this lasts through the summer and into September, we are going to be the best set up to go into the new world that may take a little longer than after registration to get back to normal. But you will have all this virtual training experience and you'll be able to sell your virtual studio.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting right now how much that is opening up for everybody. And all of the extra things, I mean, some of it might not stop when we get back. All of the family time and all of the story times and who knows what will happen to it. Or we have people that have reached out to ask us to register for this virtual session.
Are you taking them? I want to know, like, have you figured out that process to take new people in, or you're just not there yet?
I haven't, but for music we have, and for dance we haven't, because they are still looking at recital routines, whatever. But
Okay.
I thought about it, and if it lasts a bit much longer than what we're being told it's going to last for us in Massachusetts, then maybe we do offer a session of virtual classes with brand new classes, like a start from fresh class, you know?
Or a 6 or 8 week course or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's not what we would like to do, but maybe who knows? We don't know how this is going to affect us in the end, but I'm open to all of it. I'm excited about trying to find a new way to do recital. I really am. I think it has great potential. And I mean, maybe we don't have to be so attached to our schedules. Maybe we don't need to do fall registration in April. I mean, do that.
I can't wait to see a retreat or a conference in a few months because our world changed so much. You're right.
I'm just ripping up my spreadsheets.
And who says that if you run your recital in October, I know this seems far-fetched this year because you're forced to, that you won't go,
that worked.
Wow, maybe in the future I'm going to run my recital in October. And here are the reasons why. And some people are probably listening going, again, because I've heard the seniors, and I respect that. What do you do with the seniors? But let that go for a minute and don't wipe out all the possibilities because of one thing. I think we're going to learn what works for us, and maybe we don't have to go on the same cycle, or the entire cycle will change.
Right. The whole season might shift. We don't know. But it's interesting. I mean, I do think we're lucky. We're so lucky in so many ways, but we can still do what we do in a different format. And we are not the norm. That is not the norm for most businesses right now. You can't, I think we talked about this another time. You can't cut your hair virtually. You can't get your nails done. You can't, if you own any of those type of businesses, you're just done. And we're lucky that we do have this ability to keep open and making a difference and like keeping connected to our clients in that way. Yeah, we're just real lucky. And I think it's giving our staff a real opportunity to shine in a way that, I don't know, my staff is like blowing me away with what they are doing on their virtual classes. Like so proud, so impressed. It's awesome. It's been awesome.
I want to ask you this question because we're running out of time, but I love that you brought them up and you gave them so much credit. What have you learned about yourself as a leader?
Oh, um,
Say nothing if you want to. You're not quite there, but I know you have. I know you're a good leader, so share something.
I mean, I think for when with this, just like with our kids, our students, and our families, I feel like it is my job to kind of keep them calm and kind of just reiterate to them how important the work is that they're doing without being I'm not logging on to all of their Zoom classes and watching them. I'm not like giving them like minute by minute feedback on what they're doing in their Zoom class or in their Facebook Live class at all. But I'm a very trusting manager. I'm a very trusting boss. I trust them to do the right thing and to teach a great class and to manage their whole Zoom thing well. So I trust that all of that is that's all going well. So that's, I guess, the biggest thing is we can't stay on top of all of that. We can't. We really do have to trust the people that we've put in charge of our students and our classes. I guess I'm learning just that how much and more important it is right now that my energy is contagious to them, and that how I'm going to approach it is going to be how they're going to approach it. So if I panic and freak out and lose my mind, they're going to panic and freak out and lose their mind. So, and there's just no reason to. So yeah, it's just more important now than ever because they're stressed too.
I want to say this so everybody listening doesn't believe that you just don't have this outlet. Yesterday, you and I talked and you said, I'm just driving around. Nobody's in the car. I'm out.
Yep.
You are giving yourself what you need. And it's.
Yeah. Yeah. The past few days I've had to, because I'm going a little stir crazy, just like everybody else. And I was like, I'm also like not going anywhere. I haven't left my house other than to take a couple walks with the family. But we have not risked anything with our kids or ourselves. But yeah, the past couple of days I got in my car and drove to the beach, and it is not close. This was a good long drive for me.
But the thinking on the drive, I love a good long drive.
Listen, I did a lot of thinking. I made some phone calls to people I wanted to talk to. I sang until my throat hurt, and then I sat there and looked at the water for a few hours, and then I drove home. And I felt better, and that's what I needed to do. And I just needed to get out for a little while, but I think we all do. You can't stay in your house like this. It's insanity. I mean, people are put in isolation as punishment. This is horrible. So
no, I get it, but just so everybody listening gets this, it's not like Teri or I are telling you to run out there and be with other people.
Oh God, no. No, I drove by myself.
Yes.
I got to the beach and I stayed in my car.
Yeah, that's
and I drove
it.
home by myself. Yeah, I know. I didn't even see a person.
I just want to make sure that nobody interprets that the wrong way.
Stay home.
Yeah, stay home. Go for a walk by yourself. That's what's going to do it right now. Teri, I want to say this. We've known each other for a while. And I'm proud of the leader you are. I'm proud that I can call you on the phone and you're going to get the vibe of all of our listeners right away, and that you're going to be, again, a leader, but also, and I'm making this word up, an inspirer to others. And you've been, I know behind the scenes, because you and I work together, that you have been doing things for other studio owners and teachers. I admire that about you. You are a selfless person in a time when we need a lot of them.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I think we need each other. We have to help each other right now. We're struggling. I mean, we need to help each other. And I think it's a perfect opportunity to put down whatever stuff you're carrying and reach out to the people that are around you, the studios that are around you, the other teachers, the other studio owners, and see if they're okay, and see if they need help, because there's enough room. We were all surviving before, we'll all survive at the end of this. And I do believe that there's enough in all of us to help each other. Because I feel like that it's just an extension of what's happening inside our studio. It's not going to change. I can't change somebody else's studio. I can't change somebody else's culture and how they communicate that through a Zoom class. It's going to feel like an extension of what was happening before. You really can't affect that. I just think it's a time for us to help each other. For the whole industry, we can't have people going down like this. We have to pull each other up.
The whole world. Let's go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a whole world thing. If you're a teacher in Australia, or a teacher in Britain, you're a teacher in Canada, we are all feeling the same thing. And that united passion for our art that we have can unite us. And every kid who knows what that passion is, every parent who knows what that passion is, every choreographer, we got to come together. We'll bring our community through this. We may all have to go back. I think I brought up gypsy once earlier in this conversation. We may have to go back to being those gypsies, but I'm okay with it. I'm smart enough to learn the new world and come back. Do you feel that way, Miss Teri?
I do. And I said this like a couple of weeks ago when we first started, but if I had told if anybody had told me, and my studio owner friends, by tomorrow night, you're going to have to create an entire virtual studio, put all of your classes online, open up Zoom accounts, give everybody passwords, set all the settings for your meetings, link it through to Facebook Live, somehow get all your parents to get on board by the end of the weekend. There's no way we would have done that.
Oh, yeah. I'd see people crying, locking themselves in the bathroom, not wanting to talk about it anymore. But we did it.
But guess what? We did it. So that has there's a lot that we can learn from that, right? Because what else are we stopping ourselves from doing that we just could have done?
That's how I feel about my life right now. I have the time to do what it is that my heart is telling me to do. And I don't know what 2 weeks will bring, but I'm going with the flow and my heart feels good. I'm praying everybody's safe. Like you said, I'm following the rules. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to save lives and get through this in the right way. Keep kids from they are going to be lifelong affected by this. But we can help to make that lifelong effect a place they look back on and say, I'm really glad I had dance. I'm really glad I had this teacher. And it's not just dance. It could be a coach. It could be an adult who reaches out. That is who we are. That's who we must be. And we must get even better at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Teri, I appreciate you. I'm not going to repeat it all again, but thank you. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I'm getting a lot of emails and support for what we're doing. Feel free to share our videos with other dance teacher friends or dance people that you think will be inspired. And tune in. We're going to be doing this every night except Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you, Teri.
All right. Thanks, Rhee. Night, everybody.